With only 2 episodes left to Secret Invasion, it's looking less and less likely that we will actually see an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. cameo. With Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. being one of my all-time favourite shows, I thought why not look at upcoming MCU projects and see if it is likely or not that we will see the return of these characters. Now, I'm not a big comic book reader, but I have done my research for this video just to try and get some extra information about the characters from the comics for these upcoming projects. So I'm using the website, the fandom website, looking at the 616 versions of the characters, as that's where the most story with them happens. Some of the information could be wrong, but I'm purely going off what is on that website. Now, to keep the videos from going on for way too long, I'm going to break it down year by year and do separate videos. So in this video, we are going to be looking at the rest of 2023, which at this point is only another 5 to 6 months, so it's going to be a shorter list. With that said, we are still expected to get another 6 projects, so let's jump straight into the first one, which is meant to be Loki Season 2. Going off the premise of the first season, it would not seem too likely that these characters would show up. However, this next season is meant to be primarily focused on multiverse travel. Now, I'm a firm believer that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is still MCU canon, but a majority of people, I would say, do not. And if it is not MCU canon, what more reason to bring them in than in the Loki series, where they'll be first diving into that multiverse properly. Yes, we did have Doctor Strange, and that film did explore the multiverse a little bit, but this show is primarily focused on that, and it's going to have a lot more screen time to show these characters if they were to be introduced. With the way that they left off with Daisy Johnson in the show, it's possible that she could be with Saber. Now, if this is the case, then we got Saber and S.H.I.E.L.D. that could be introduced. I cannot find any comic book tie-in with the 3, so Loki, TVA, Saber, or Sword, from doing my own research. So it doesn't look likely we're going to have a full-fledged story with those, especially with the whole Kang stuff going on. But it could be possible to have a cameo. I don't think it's extremely likely, but we might see it, and if it happens, I would love it. Now, the next project releasing is The Marvels, and it is supposed to release in November, and it also stars Nick Fury. Now, obviously, currently we have Secret Invasion going on with him being in there, and this totally spoils that obviously he's going to live and obviously go back to the space station. I don't hate this, however, because I think the Saber Station is the most likely outcome for actually seeing Daisy Johnson or any of the S.H.I.E.L.D. characters come through. I know from doing some research that Daisy and Nick have a close relationship in the comics, so already them being involved could totally make sense. We know from the show as well that Coulson and Nick Fury still had a little bit of contact, so he might even know about Daisy Johnson from that show, so there's a little bit of connection there. My personal thoughts on why the show was never fully connected with the MCU is that bringing Coulson back without knowing the show would be so confusing for casual viewers, whereas now he's not really with Daisy Johnson, that if they were to bring in this new superpowered individual, people wouldn't care that much if they didn't know the backstory straight away, and I think it's a great way to introduce them if it was in a movie like this. When you look at the trailer for The Marvels, there's a lot of the Saber Space Station as well, which makes me think that they're not going to have nobody up there. There has to be someone up there, and I doubt it's going to be an all-new cast. It could be, but I feel like there's got to be someone we know. And, I mean, that could link with Secret Invasion. Maybe it ends with Gaia going up with him. Who knows? We'll have to see. I do think that this is our best chance at seeing Daisy Johnson specifically, though, and I would love if she appeared in this. Now, next is Echo, which I'm pretty sure is still in 2023, and I don't think there's any chance of a S.H.I.E.L.D. tie-in here. The only chance maybe is the fact that the Triskelion is there in the end, and I think Echo is going to be somewhere in New York. I'm not too sure. It's a very, very loose connection, and I just don't think they're going to interact. From doing some research as well, I can't find any connection properly with her and S.H.I.E.L.D. story-wise, and her main connections are with Daredevil, so I can't see it happening, unfortunately. These last few shows don't actually have set release dates currently. They were meant to be released 2023, and we've had no news saying they aren't. So they're going to be included within this video, and they just won't be in the others if it does change to that. Now, the first of these is What If. Now, obviously, with a show called What If, we could literally see anyone. So there's always a slight chance we see these characters. I don't think it's super likely. If we're still going on the theory that this is no longer within the MCU, it's way more likely. But still, I think they're going to stick that show for just keeping like the main cast of characters, so your Iron Mans, Captain Americas. I don't think we'll see them, but there is a possibility. The next show on this list is Ironheart. Now, I don't think it's necessarily likely, but with doing some research, she does have a slight tie-in with S.H.I.E.L.D. This tie-in, however, is with Latveria and Doctor Doom. Now, we know the Fantastic Four films are coming up, but I think they're going to save Doom for that, which means Doom will not be available to set up before this project. The reason I don't think that it will actually happen in this show is because the tie-in with her and the whole Doctor Doom Latveria is where she gets tasked by S.H.I.E.L.D. to invade Latveria and basically overthrow the current, dictator leader. This leader is Doctor Doom's Prime Minister, Lucia von Bardas. Apologies if I mispronounced that, I obviously don't know these characters at all. And with her going in here and obviously overthrowing this person, it means you would have had to have Doctor Doom set up first and Latveria, so that story will not get adapted at all. Other than that, I think the only time we'll get is with Black Panther maybe. I just cannot see it being with this show. Now, the final show that is meant to be releasing in 2023 is Agathas Cult of Chaos. Now, in the comics, there's no ties to her at all that I can find, but we do know she had some interaction with S.W.O.R.D. at the end of WandaVision. At the end of the S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show, we do see Mac with the new S.H.I.E.L.D. and Coulson with the Triskelion. Now, if this is in the MCU, this all occurred in the year 2020, which means that we've had 3 or 4 years maybe where we don't know what happened to these characters. If we go off the fact that they were with S.W.O.R.D., then they could potentially appear in this show. The Agatha show is meant to be based off someone wakening her from Wanda's hex and basically her setting up this new witch cult. And obviously we know S.W.O.R.D. was interacting with these people at the end of WandaVision. It's meant to be still in Westview, so if they are part of S.W.O.R.D. now, we could see them in that way. Due to the mystical and magical nature of Agatha, I really doubt that's going to happen, but if S.W.O.R.D. show up, there's potential for that to happen too. Again, this may not be Coulson, but you could easily have Max show up just as a director, and you would have no need to actually explain who this is other than just his role in the company. Well, not company, organization, you know what I mean. Overall, for 2023, it's not necessarily looking like it won't happen, but it's not the most likely. We have a few projects that it could still show up in. Obviously, Secret Invasion still has a couple of episodes left, and the Marvels could easily have them appear. But overall, I don't think it's going to happen. I still think the most likely option is them being brought in Secret Wars, but that's only going to be for one movie. Obviously, I'm going to further explore this and research this for future videos, so if you did enjoy this one, please like and subscribe. Keep an eye out for the next ones coming out. I will be making them shortly, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.